back to the latest edition of Kicked at Six, the show that provides Premier League kit participants to the chance to talk about topics that matter to them. Tonight I am joined, as usual, by Evan and Mike. Hi guys, hope you're all doing well.
I'm doing well, yeah.
Hi, Maddie. Throughout the show, we have welcomed a number of different guests, and today is no different, as we are delighted to have two of Wigan Athletic's first team players, Scott Wootton and Jamie Proctor. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Before we chat to the lads about their careers and time with Athletics this season, we are going to test them both on how well they know their current teammates. Myself, Maddie and Mike will say 3 facts about a current Wigan Athletic player, and it's up to Jamie and Scott to work out who it might be. Over to you, Maddie.
The player is currently on a loan at the club. He has represented Belgium at the under-21 level. He scored 3 goals for Scunthorpe, with one of the goals coming against Wigan in 2017.
Funso Ojo.
Yeah.
Is that 1-0 to us?
Yeah.
Next up, this player is a product of the club's academy. He scored his first senior hat-trick this season. He has also represented this country at under 18 and 19 level.
No, Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl Joseph. Hold on.
Can you guess who this is? The player is currently on loan with the club. He began his career in non-league football and has played for Hales Owens Town and Chelmsford United. All of his goals this season have come from his head.
Scotty?
Yeah, Tilty.
Yep.
Last one then. The player's height is 6'2". He was part of the England under-17 team who won the 2010 UEFA European under-17 football championships, appearing in the final. And this player's brother plays in the Premier League.
Will Keane.
Yeah. So Scott, you began your football career with Manchester United. What was being in that environment like as a young player, especially with some of the new players you were with?
Yeah, it's quite surreal really now when you look back. At the time, you don't really know any different because it's always your first sort of step into full-time football. But it's only when you leave it you realise how good it actually was really to be around, some of the best players to ever play the game, really, likes of Scholes, Rooney's, Giggs, these players. To just see them every day in the gym, on the training pitches, gives you sort of special memories, yeah. So quite a special, unique time, really, that you don't really appreciate. Not that you don't appreciate it, but you don't really realise until you step away from that how good it actually was.
As a professional footballer, what was the lockdown experience like for you?
The first lockdown. Yeah, probably similar to most people, really. Obviously, we couldn't go to our normal sort of job or work, so we were stuck at home. We got given, I think at first they thought it was going to be 3 weeks. I think they said at first. So we got told to have 10 days off, and then we were given sort of like a light program to follow, sort of just like road running and bodyweight gym stuff. Then it got extended, so then we were given a tougher program. And we had a few Zoom calls like this with the squad split into 2 or 3 groups, and we were doing like sort of circuits and workouts. But I think, and then obviously this season got curtailed, and I was at Plymouth in League 2, so the season got finished. But I think mentally it was tough because you just didn't know, like, no one knew, did they, what was going on? No one knew when it was ending. You couldn't go to certain shops, couldn't go out. So it was tough from that point of view, just the same as everyone else, really. Obviously, we were a little bit fortunate that we were given programs that we had to follow that allowed us to get out for an hour or two during the daytime, going on runs and getting fresh air and stuff like that, just for mental sort of sanity, if anything else, really.
You signed for Athletics in January on loan. How has the last couple of months been like for you? It looks like you settled well into the team.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've wanted to sign for Wigan. As soon as I heard about the interest, was right at the start of the window. It took a while. It took a lot longer than it should have, really. And Wigan, from the outside, is always a club I've admired. When I think of Wigan, I don't think of a team struggling at the bottom end of League One. I see them winning League One and being in the Championship or being in the Premier League, winning the FA Cup. That's my vision of Wigan. And I've been, for one reason or another, I was close to signing. I think this was the fourth time lucky, really. One of the previous managers close to signing for the club. So as soon as I heard about the interest, I was desperate to get it done. And yeah, it's been obviously tough in parts. We're on a decent run at the minute. We've lost 1 in 4. But at the start, it was tough. It was a completely sort of new team. I think it was 7, 8, 9 new players coming in January. It was always going to take time. As optimistic as you are, it's never going to just click straight away. It's always going to take time to gel. Players getting to know each other. We never had the luxury of having a long week for training or team bonding. We had Saturday, Tuesday games every week, which was tough. But yeah, I've really enjoyed my time here at the club, and hopefully we can do enough to stay in League One. That's the main aim for every player that came into the club in January, and we've still got a fighting chance to do that.
We can't have you on without speaking to you about the last minute win against Bristol Rovers. How much can you remember about the goal and celebration?
Can't remember anything about the celebration, thank God. No, I just remember it was a tough game. We played well first half. We got the goal to go ahead, and then they changed the shape. We struggled for a bit for 10-15 minute period. They were on top of the game, and I remember when we got the free kick. I remember going forward, and it was a game that you knew you couldn't lose, but we sort of had to win, really, because I think if I remember right, they were 3 points ahead of us at the time. So there's no way we could have let them go 6 points ahead. So a few minutes before that, I was actually thinking, let's just take a point, get out of here, and don't get beat, no matter what, because they're probably they finished stronger, really. And then going up for the free kick, I think I said to Joe Dodo, I said, like, come on, this is going to be the last chance in the game. And I always like to stand in an offside position from wide free kicks, because when I defensively, that's what I don't like to mark, because you can't get goal side of them, and if they get a bump on you, they're almost in on goal. So I just done that, and luckily enough, the ball came right to me, and it was managed to get a good contact on it, and thankfully it went in the near post. And don't know what happened after, because Proctor will know more, like scoring goals. So I was very jealous of strikers who get to have that feeling all the time. I haven't had that too many times in my career, but it was an incredible feeling. Massive 3 points because of where they were in the league as well. So it was a special moment for sure.
Moving on to you, Jamie. Is it true you're currently studying for a PGCE, and if so, how has that come about?
Yeah, it is true. To be honest, it's come about from a few different things, really. I've always been interested in studying, always sort of done well at school, and had interests elsewhere away from football. Partly because of the amount of time we have away from training and the amount of time we spend on the road, travelling in hotels, that sort of stuff. So I've always wanted to find time to do other things for after football finishes, really. The PGC in itself is a teaching qualification, which I've looked into for a number of years, really, just simply because I enjoy, first of all, I enjoyed school, I enjoy teaching, learning, helping people, and especially helping young children sort of improve and spread positivity, really, in terms of their lives, and making improvements to their lives in school, out of school, on the football pitch, away from the football pitch, that sort of stuff. So I think it suits me perfectly in terms of the role that a teacher or a PE teacher, sports coach, whatever you want to call it. I think that suits me perfectly, and something that after football finishes, definitely a career that I want to look into and head down.
Right, Scott, you arrived at the club halfway through the season. What is that like as a player going into a new environment?
To be honest, I've done it a number of times now, probably more often than most and more than I would have liked. It's never easy, but it's part and parcel of the job, and it's something that you come to expect. Come January time, if you're not in the team where you currently are, you're not playing enough games, or you may be on the lookout for a new club. It's something that is always available to you. So it's a decision you have to make fairly quickly. But yeah, when the opportunity, as Scotty was saying before, similar to me really, when the opportunity came up, it was something that I wanted to get done as soon as, not only for the football club in itself and the squad that was available, the staff that we have at the club, but also location-wise for me, it was absolutely perfect. So when an opportunity comes up like that, it's something that you need to take, regardless of how tough it may be, joining a new squad and that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of lads in there that were in the same boat. As Scotty said before, I think we signed 9 or 10 players, so everyone's still getting to know each other, and hopefully we can all click, and once the changing room sort of becomes one, we'll start to benefit on the pitch, like I think we have in the last few weeks, really.
Since you've arrived, what has your impression been on some of the younger lads who are in their first season of professional football?
Brilliant, to be honest. I think the same impression that everybody else has from the outside. I think it's hard enough as a young player anyway, coming into any club and any side, playing your first game, second game, 5th, 10th, whatever it may be. But to come into a side that's sort of been in turmoil off the pitch, and that there's so much pressure for the club to stay in the division, and sort of thrust into it when not that the lads aren't ready, because I think they've shown when they've played they definitely are ready. But even at other clubs, I think when you're ready, you're still sort of just bedded in nice and slow, and you play a couple of games here, a couple of games there. Whereas at the club this season, that we've not had that luxury, so the lads have had to play every minute of every game, and it's not always good for your development doing it that way. But I think hats off to everyone that's managed them players, the players themselves, the young lads. I think they've probably been our best players, to be honest, especially since I've been here. So I think I've only got positive words to say for every one of them. I think everyone associated with the club will say the same thing, to be honest.
So with 10 games to go until the end of the season, how is it to have a togetherness in the dressing room to make sure the club stays in League One?
Massive, yeah. As I touched on before, I think especially the amount of players we signed in January and the ins and outs that have been going on throughout the season. There hasn't ever been a settled side or a settled squad, really. And that's tough for any side, especially when you're fighting at the bottom of the division and you don't know what's going on from week to week. So I think now we've all had time to bond and get to know each other, and hopefully get a settled team and a settled squad. We will really have a real push towards the end of the season. The last 10 games will be nothing but fight from everyone. So hopefully, as I said, we all still believe that we will stay up, and we've got one goal, and that is simply stay in the division. So I think the squad togetherness will be massive in that.
A huge thank you to Scott and Jamie for joining us this evening. Best of luck from all of us for the rest of the season. A reminder to keep a lookout on the Wigan Athletic Kicks Facebook page with the Kicks virtual timetable, and also news of restart sessions. As always, thank you to Evan and Mike for joining me. See you all in the next edition of Kicks at 6.